All right. Um, yeah. Let me get into this video. And this is about the new Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker. And why I'm gonna explain why I refuse to see this movie. Let's just get started at the beginning. Like, I'm I mean, I don't know. I'm not like a fanboy Star Wars fan, but I've always watched Star Wars. I remember since I was a kid, I've been watching Star Wars, and because my mother likes, she used to watch Star Wars, and I remember the original movies. I remember 1999 when Phantom Menace came out. How I was hyped for that, and I remember the first time I watched that, I didn't like it, but after I watched it again, I thought it was okay. The best one out of that, the prequel trilogy, is Revenge of the Sith. I'm still a fan of the classic Star Wars movies. When The Force Awakens first came out, I was kind of indifferent because I really didn't, at that point, I was done with Star Wars after Revenge of the Sith. But I remember just watching Force Awakens feeling like, okay, I went along with what they went along with, the new ideas, the Snoke character, Kylo Ren, even though I think Kylo Ren is a terrible villain and just a complete bitch. But I thought maybe in the next movie they make him more darker, more competent as a villain. But then The Last Jedi happened. And the only reason I was interested in The Last Jedi is because I wanted to see Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker again. And they fucked that up. They basically turned him into a beach bum. I mean, at first I thought that was okay, but the fact that he was such a cynical character and he was totally opposite of what he was in The Last Jedi. I mean, in Return of the Jedi, as a competent, Jedi master, he just seemed like this defeated guy, and it was just boring. It was stupid, and the Rey character didn't evolve. Nothing. And Finn was doing the same old shenanigans. The subplot with the casino was stupid. I don't know. I can go on all day about The Last Jedi. This isn't about The Last Jedi. This is about the Rise of Skywalker. Anyway, Rian Johnson, and then he killed Snoke. He completely. I mean, this is the thing about being a filmmaker. If you're part of a trilogy, a movie trilogy, the thing about making a trilogy is that if you're the director of the second movie, you can't just make your own shit up. You have to continue what the first filmmaker did. I don't know why Disney allowed him to do what he did, because it's almost as if he was just making his own personal movie. No, dickhead, this is part of a trilogy. You have to keep the story going. You have to follow the plot threads of the original film, which was The Force Awakens. But he decided to do his own bullshit, and then here we are with The Last Jedi, that piece of shit of a Star Wars movie. Which leads me into Rise of Skywalker, why I refuse to see this movie. I refuse to see this movie is because, number one, they're bringing the Emperor back. What's the point of bringing the Emperor back? He was already defeated in the Return of the Jedi, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get defeated in this movie. There's no reference or mention of him in the other two movies at all, not even by the original characters, by Han Solo or Princess Leia, or even Luke. And it was like, okay, Vader killed him in The Last Jedi. I'm pretty sure he picked him up, threw him over in that pit, and he blew up. So are they trying to imply that he survived? That he, fell into a shaft and went into a TIE fighter before the Death Star blew up? I mean, someone tell me. That's number one. Number two, I can give two shits about what happens to Rey, because nothing has really ever happened to her in any of the other two movies. I mean, literally, the only thing we know, the only flaw that she had is that she didn't know who her parents were. And we get to The Last Jedi, and apparently, according to Kylo Ren, wow, how would he know anything about her parents anyway? Oh, they were nobody. Like, by that time, who gives a shit who her parents are? Because she's so perfect, she never does anything wrong. She's pretty. I mean, what was the whole point of her going to meet Luke anyway if she had all these Jedi powers to begin with? If she knew she had these powers, then why would she? If I had those powers and I never had Jedi training, why the fuck would I want to go see a Jedi Master? I pretty much got it all sewn up anyway. That's number two. Number three, Finn and Poe, they're boring. All the other characters I don't care about. And apparently they're going to do some kind of memory wipe with C-3PO. And who cares? Chewie is just there. He's just the order. He's just there for decoration. He's just there for fan service, because he's really not doing anything at all except sitting by the side of Rey flying the Millennium Falcon. Like, you've been on that ship since the first movie. You should be flying that ship. But that's beside the point. Yeah, I mean, I really don't care. I mean, I don't see the point of bringing the Emperor back, but we all know why that happened. Let's be real, people. The only reason they brought the Emperor back is because Ryan Johnson killed off Snoke. Like I said, the man was so selfish and so stupid. They said, "Well, I'll just kill off my main villain to subvert expectations." Now you got a fucking problem because now you don't have a main villain. What do? Because Kylo Ren is a total bitch. All right, he's shown no evidence that he's a competent villain. I'm not saying Adam Driver is a bad actor. He's actually a pretty good actor. But as far as his character, Kylo Ren, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. he's one of the worst Star Wars villains ever. Boba Fett, Jango Fett, all these other characters are so much better. You know, I mean, General Grievous from the prequel trilogy is better than him. Okay, the robot with the four arms, like he was kind of goofy too, but he was way better than Kylo Ren. At least he was confident. At least he wasn't a total bitch and always crying and whining and moaning. But like anyway. He was such a total bitch. Anyway, and prove me wrong that he's not a total bitch. And watching this trailer, and another reason I want to see this movie, I watched two trailers. I remember the teaser trailer, and then I saw the second trailer, the full trailer. There's no plot to this freaking movie. What is the plot of the movie? I don't know what the hell's going on. All I do is see a bunch of visual effects. I think there's a shot where there's a bunch of horses riding on top of a Death Star, which looks dumb. Like, who the fuck does that make any sense? No. Then there's things where like stormtroopers are flying. Okay, apparently stormtroopers can fly now. This movie just looks desperate. Disney is so desperate to get people to be interested in Star Wars. If you wanted people to be interested in Star Wars, you should have told a competent story from the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you just made this piece of shit, Last Jedi. I mean, Force Awakens wasn't that great of a movie either. It was just a rehash of the original film, but at least it was setting up certain things that would have been interesting, like Snoke, Rey already having the Force, the First Order, the Resistance. But Ryan Johnson just totally destroyed that. I don't understand how Disney even allowed this to happen. They knew this was a trilogy, so why would they let a director? Because why would they let a director just totally subvert what the original film had done, just so he can say, "Oh, well, I made this is my version of Star Wars." If that was the case, they should have just gave him his own anthology film like Rogue One or Solo. That would have made more sense. But whatever. And I think this he's the reason why they fired the other guy, Colin Trevorrow, is because I think he had plans to bring Luke back alive and he would have some sort of confrontation with Snoke, but because Ryan Johnson killed off Snoke, that derailed all his plans, and Disney had to regroup and sit in the boardroom and say, "Well, shit, we don't have no more villains. The guy Ryan Johnson, he killed him off. Can we bring him back? No. Let's bring back the Emperor back. Ding dong. Like, who cares?" And according to the leaks, she ends up defeating him all by herself. I don't know for sure. That's just what I heard. But to be honest with you, I have no investment in any of these characters. Ironically, the only interesting character is Kylo Ren, but he's such a bitch. I don't really care about what happens to him either. He's such a little punk. How can anybody take this guy seriously as a villain? I mean, it's really sad. But yeah, I mean, those are reasons I'm not gonna go see Rise of Skywalker. If I do, I guess I'll watch it online or something. I'm not gonna watch this movie. I'm pretty much done with Star Wars after this. And yeah, whatever they do with Star Wars after this, I really can care less. But whoever's looking at this, you tell me a reason why why you were going to go see Rise of Skywalker. Because story-wise, I have no interest in what's going on at all. I don't care whether we find out who Rey's parents are, who she's related to. It doesn't matter. Why would it matter who she's related to if she's got all these Force powers anyway? I mean, and Finn, I don't know. I guess, is he going to die at the end? Is he going to sacrifice himself like he tried to do in The Last Jedi, but Rose stopped him? I don't know. Is Poe Dameron, is he going to be the leader of Resistance now? Because I don't know. Is he going to? The point I'm trying to make is that this is a pointless-ass movie that's not going to lead anywhere. It's not going to lead. Some people might look at it as a conclusion to the Skywalker saga. The Skywalker saga ended in Return of the Jedi. Okay, it's called this movie is called Rise of Skywalker, but I guarantee you're not going to see much of Skywalker in it. I don't know if Luke's going to have a cameo as a Force Ghost or not, but it's pretty much pointless. And like I said, this is just a waste of time of a movie. And I'm pretty sure this movie is going to be just as divisive as The Last Jedi, because like The Last Jedi, it's its own movie. This is not a part of a trilogy. This is going to be a separate movie, just like The Last Jedi was. It's not following The Force Awakens, or maybe J.J. Abrams, he might try to connect it to The Force Awakens, but the damage is already done. Because if you make it more like The Force Awakens or continue it, then what was the purpose of having The Last Jedi? Then you're basically canceling out The Last Jedi. So then just watch The Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker. Forget The Last Jedi. Then what was the point of your trilogy? See what I mean? This whole Disney Star Wars thing is just bad storytelling. It's awful storytelling. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to be invested in any of these characters because nothing really happens. Nothing really happens. It's just a lot of explosions. Boom, boom, bang, bang, lightsaber fight. What? That's it. Is that what people want today in movies? Superficial bullshit. They don't want anything that's original, suspenseful, some real tension, some real character development. You people are like little kids. You just want, it's almost like watching a Saturday morning cartoon. You just want bullshit. Kiddie, childlike bullshit. And I'm talking about adults. I'm not talking about kids going to see Star Wars. I'm talking about adults. Fanboys, okay? You guys just want cookie cutter kid shit. Just like with the Marvel movies. It's like, grow the fuck up. Grow some balls, mature. The whole point of watching movies is when you get older, you mature and you watch more mature movies because you're getting older. You're going to be an overgrown adolescent for the rest of your life. Watching Star Wars till you're 90. That's why I said The Irishman was the best movie I saw all year, because that was actual cinema. That was actual storytelling. Even though it was 3 hours long, but still, it was actual storytelling. I actually saw the evolution of the characters. You don't see shit in these Star Wars movies. They're just cookie cutter. It's just cookie cutter garbage. And why would you waste $10, $15 to watch that as a grown-ass man or woman? It's pathetic. But anyway, that's my opinion on that. I'm not going to see this bullshit. The year is almost over. I'm pretty much not going to go into the movies to see anything. Not until next year. So at the end of 2019, I never thought, you have to remember, The Phantom Menace came out 20 years ago. I wouldn't have dreamed 20 years ago that I wouldn't be excited to see a Star Wars movie. I would have never dreamed in a million years, or thought in a million years, oh, I'm not going to see the next Star Wars movie. I have no interest at all. But hey, shit happens. Anyway, Hollywood sucks out.